Okay, so welcome to lesson 8 of the ecology unit. This is your remote learning video for looking at humans and the ecosystem. So, let's begin with, review your notes from the past 7 lessons and see if you can have a go independently going through these knowledge check questions. So pause the video, have a go at them, and then we'll go through the answers in a moment. Right, should have unpaused the video, so let's see if we can answer all of these. Define biodiversity. So remember, biodiversity is the diversity of species in an ecosystem. 2 factors that can affect biodiversity: climate, changes in that, and also changes in food supplies. Name the main cause of reduction in biodiversity. Human activity. Then, state 2 effects of reduction in biodiversity. Means there is less interdependence between species, which means there is an increase in chances of extinction for that species within that ecosystem. Then define extinction. Total species loss. Then what figure have we given the approximate human population? Around 7 billion. Describe how this has changed over the last 1,000 years. It's increased rapidly since the 1800s. Suggest reasons for this change. Now, improvements in healthcare, food and technology has meant mankind has been able to live longer. More of us can live and more of us can reach that biological imperative of being able to reproduce and to pass on new offspring to the next generation. Right, so you've had a go at those. You should turn on to the next page for me. And you'll see the overview of this lesson is at the top, describing problems associated with an increasing human population and types of pollution and their effects on ecosystems and biodiversity. So within this lesson, there is practical that is written within the booklet, but if you are doing this from a remote learning point of view, you won't be able to do that. So we'll focus primarily on content today. So if we have a look at the paragraph together. Human impact on ecosystems. Exponential growth in human population means more resources are used. Now, exponential growth is just another word for saying rapid human growth. When the graph moves up like that, it's increasing time on time on time quickly. It means more resources are used because more resources needed for survival. Food, land, water, fuel. More waste is also produced, and unless it is handled properly, could lead to more harmful pollution. Pollution kills plants and animals, resulting in a reduction in biodiversity and can be damaging to the balance of ecosystems. So in that respect, if there's a damage to it, they are no longer at equilibrium. So that reduction in biodiversity means there is a less variety of species within the ecosystem. So as you know, if there's less variety of species, there is less interdependence between species. Now, Waste produced by humans pollute water with sewage, fertilizers, chemicals that improve plant growth, or toxic chemicals. Human waste also pollutes the air with smoke and gases such as sulfur dioxide, which contributes to acid rain. So, for example, sulfur dioxide producing acid rain can be as a result of increased usage of motor vehicles. Waste may also pollute land with toxic chemicals such as pesticides, chemicals that kill unwanted organisms, herbicides, chemicals that kill unwanted plants, which may be washed from the land into the water. Eutrophication describes what happens to the nearby pond life when fertilizers are washed from the farmlands into fresh water supplies. The fertilizer increases the production of algae on the surface water, which decreases the amount of light reaching bottom-feeding plants, in turn reducing the animal populations. Some more algae blocks out light, which is needed by these plants. These plants need it for photosynthesis. And if they've got no light, they die. And if those plants die, it's going to reduce the animal population, such as fish, because fish have less available food. Right. Spend a few minutes now making a few notes on how air, water and land-based waste is managed using the YouTube link in your documents, and also in hopefully in the comments section below if that's put in. Use that and have a go and make some of your own notes on that, just so you've got an idea of some of the mechanisms by which pollution is managed. And then once you've done that, we can go on to air pollution. Now, air pollution, combustion of fossil fuels. Now, combustion, we know, is burning in oxygen. Fossil fuels are full of captured carbon. Produces many harmful substances into the environment. Carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, smoke, carcinogens, carbon monoxide are all examples. So if we come back to this idea just to begin with, combustion is burning in oxygen, and these fossil fuels, which are full of captured carbon, are burnt in oxygen. It's that process which produces CO2 as waste. Now, so as we've talked about before, carbon dioxide increases global warming because carbon dioxide absorbs radiation in its covalent bonds, which means if there's more of it in the atmosphere, more heat radiation is absorbed, which means the temperature of the Earth increases. Now, sulfur dioxide and also nitrous oxide, or oxides of nitrogen, plus oxides of nitrogen cause acid rain. Now, why is acid rain a bad thing? Because it leads to the acidification, increased acidity of water sources, which can kill wildlife. Now, other issues as well. Smoke contains carcinogens, causes cancer. Carbon monoxide prevents red blood cells from transporting oxygen by attaching to hemoglobin in red blood cells. If it's preventing transportation of oxygen, it decreases respiration and an organism's ability to produce energy and to survive. And also, suspended particulates contribute to lower acute respiratory infections and other diseases such as cancer. They can penetrate human lung and blood tissue, leading to higher incidences of cardiovascular and lung disease. And as well as that, these particulates that are produced in air pollution, suspended or fine, can also cause global dimming, which is where less light is actually able to get through the atmosphere to the Earth's surface, which we know light is essential for plants for photosynthesis. Smoke can also affect photosynthesis, as some of the chemicals can destroy chlorophyll, even cause stomata to close up. Now, chlorophyll, if you destroy it, that's an issue because it's our site of photosynthesis. Just check it's still on the screen. And if you close up the stomata in a leaf, you've got no gas exchange. So carbon dioxide and water can't get in and out of the plant for respiration photosynthesis to occur. So that's why some of these issues are such big problems when it comes to air pollution. And also, there's another one actually. If you think about, sometimes when we talk about the ozone layer, ozone is a gas, I think it's O3 technically, and emitting that as an air pollutant can actually damage plant cell membranes, and it can reduce growth, can reduce plant growth. Now, have a little look at this checkpoint question together. So, there are many types of pollution for each of the following. Write down its form: air, water, or land. Rubbish pollution in a landfill site. Hopefully that's given away. Land. B, fertilisers. Fertilisers cause eutrophication. Eutrophication occurs in rivers, streams, so it's water. C, sewage. We know goes down the toilet and down the plug hole. Water. Smoke goes out into the air, so it's air pollution. Good. Right, move on to our next activity, which is a bit of data analysis, just looking at human impacts of air pollution. So let's go through a couple of these questions together. So this shows air pollution data analysis from Leicester City Centre from 1994 to 2012. So begin with, pause the video and have a go at this, using your information, using your booklets, using what you know, see if you can answer those questions. Once you've done that, unpause the video and we'll go through the answers together. Right, you should have unpaused the video. So, first question here. Graph shows levels of sulfur dioxide in Leicester City Centre. Draw a smooth line of best fit. So we need a line of best fit, a curve that goes roughly through as much of the data as we can. So we've got describe the general trend of the data shown in the graph. So what does the line of best fit show? Sulfur dioxide levels decreased over time to reach. Have they gone completely? No. Let's say probably around 2006. The levels kind of flattened out, plateaued out. So reached over time to reach a stable, low level, which has been maintained since around 2006. Now, explain the fluctuations per year in the levels of sulfur dioxide. Simple reason why you could have fluctuations is because you could simply have increases and decreases in human numbers and activities during this time. Now, describe the impact of sulfur dioxide on environments such as a city centre. Sulfur dioxide is a contributor to acid rain. Acid rain can cause the acidification of water sources, which can kill plant life and animal life. And cities often contain statues that are made of limestone. Now, when exposed to acid, limestone statues degrade and wear away. So if there's a greater level of acidity in the rain, the more it rains, the more those statues will wear away and disappear. And then the next question, suggest why there's been a steady level of sulfur dioxide from 2006 onwards. We can assume that this level has reached an acceptable level that can be maintained. So almost an expected level of pollution that can be maintained that doesn't have a particularly great environmental impact. That can be our assumption there. Right, and then on to the last sections of this lesson where we can identify types of pollution. Now, there's a couple of points I'd like to make here that sort of go outside of the spec, but let's start with our main bulk of information. Smoke produced by air pollution can have harmful effects. Particulates can irritate the airways and bring on episodes of asthma. So remember, particulates are solid particles that are in the air. Some particulates are carcinogens. They cause cancer, resulting in cancer developing in the respiratory system. Now, what is cancer? It's the uncontrollable division of cells. Now, if you've got that occurring in the respiratory system, it's obviously going to make it harder to breathe and get in gases that are needed for respiration, like oxygen, so that an organism can live. Some plants are very sensitive to pollution. Lichens are small plants that form flat, dry, crispy structures that grow on rocky surfaces. Sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide severely affect the growth of lichens, so we can use their lack of growth as an indication to the levels of pollution. Low levels of lichen mean high levels of pollution. Now, sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide, as we've said, they can be given out by car exhausts. So low levels of lichen mean high levels of pollution. So, e.g., car usage is one source of these gases. Lichens fit into a category of organism called indicator species, as their presence or absence from an environment indicates the levels of pollution within it. You might also hear, for examples of the peppered moth, which was a good indicator species around the time of the Industrial Revolution, and also became an example of how you can observe evolution in action as well through natural selection. The other thing to bear in mind as well about air pollution causing cancer in different organisms is this can occur through a process that we call bioaccumulation. Now, what is